we are just days away from Chicago Bears 2026 training camp to begin. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been really missing football, and I'm so excited that this offseason's coming to an end. It's felt like we haven't seen a Bears football game in forever, if I'm going to be honest. So, talking about training camp, here's a couple of dates we need to know. On July 25th, the rookies are going to be reporting. On July 28th, the veterans and everyone else is going to report. And on August 10th, the Bears are going to play their first preseason game against the Miami Dolphins. Now, I am super excited for training camp to begin, and there's going to be a lot of things to cover pretty soon here. There's going to be potential injuries, there's going to be potential position battles, development comments, all sorts of things, and I am so excited to be covering this. So, in today's training camp preview, I'm going to be naming 5 things that we must see out of Bears training camp in order to feel comfortable about the new season. My name's Aiden Gister, and welcome to ATG Bears Breakdown. Now, let's get right into the video. So, the first thing we're going to be covering is Caleb Williams, the quarterback. And we're going to be talking about some of his stats here. So, last season, Caleb Williams completed 58.1% of his dropbacks for 3,942 yards and 27 touchdowns. And I'm going to be honest, I love where his development is currently sitting. I think he's going to become this team's franchise quarterback in the near term, and I think he's doing an amazing job captaining this team. However, there is one main thing holding him back at this moment, and that is his completion percentage. His completion percentage needs to go up. Last year, Ben Johnson set his goal at 70% for Caleb's completion percentage, and he was nowhere near that mark. And while it's okay because he does create a lot of explosive plays, he still needs to get that up. 58.1% was at the bottom of the league, and that's just unacceptable. Can we find a happy medium? Can we get to 64 to 65%? Something like that, because at this current point, he's missing some of the basic throws, which is holding his team back just a little bit. One thing we have to mention, however, is the amount of dropped yardage that Bears receivers caused this year. I mean, the Bears were number one in drop yardage in the NFL. So I think that's kind of where some of his completion percentage woes came from, but he still has to be more consistent. And there would be times last year where he would make an amazing play, shock everyone, and then he'd miss a simple check down. That needs to stop happening and he needs to become more consistent in that area. And if he completes his goal of elevating his completion percentage, I think we're going to have a good season from Caleb and have a good season in general. And these are the kind of comments I want to be hearing about our quarterback throughout this training camp. I want reports that he's completing majority of his throws. He's making the simple throws. He's still making his amazing plays. And that is the first thing that I really want to hear during this training camp process. Now, the second storyline we're going to be covering here is position battles. And there's 3 notable ones that I'm going to be talking about, which is left tackle, center, and the competition for the second corner spot. Regarding left tackle, currently there's going to be a competition between 3 main guys. One of those guys is Braxton Jones. Braxton Jones has been a starter for the Bears for a long time. Not last season, but before that, he had started many games for the Bears at left tackle, so he knows what he's doing. There's also a couple other guys. There's Jedrick Wills Jr., who was a former first-round pick for the Browns back in, I believe, 2020. And there's also Theo Benedict, who did start a few games last year, but kind of moved down the depth chart after he wasn't playing the best. And that was kind of proven by, in the playoff game, Joe Tooney being moved out to left tackle and Theo Benedict not getting the start. So I do think Braxton has a huge advantage in this competition because he's been there, he's done that, and I honestly think the other 2 guys are too uncertain. I mean, we don't know anything about Jedrick Wills, how he's going to play. He's been very injured the last few seasons, hasn't really gotten a chance to start or even play in games. So he's a complete unknown. And Theo Benedict, we have seen signs from the team that they don't believe that he's a good starter for this team. So I do believe that Braxton Jones is going to win this competition. However, there is one curveball that we're going to be talking about here, and it's about Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker was the former left tackle for the Detroit Lions, and he's still on the market. He's still a free agent, and I believe the Bears could sign him to a very cheap contract, roughly ranging a few $1 million. The only problem he has previously stated that he would not play for the Bears or any other NFC North team. So I don't know how realistic of an option this is, but I feel like if he's available, the Bears should seriously consider signing him. Now, regarding the center competition, and this is slightly more intriguing than the last one, is the competition between center Garrett Bradbury and rookie center Logan Jones. Garrett Bradbury played for the Patriots last year, and he's also kind of been like Braxton Jones. He's been there, he's done that, and he's a solid starter. He's not excellent in any way, but he's solid. And then there's the young, intriguing rookie, and this rookie named Logan Jones from Iowa. He won the Remington Trophy last year for the best center in college football. So he's not a bad center option. And I think this competition is kind of a sleeper. Most people expect Garrett Bradbury to easily start. However, I think that Logan Jones can push him for that starting spot. It's going to take some games. I don't think he'll start right away. But my bold prediction is that by the end of the year, Logan Jones is going to be starting over Bradbury. So I'm excited to see if Logan Jones can make any type of push during training camp, whether we hear anything about it, whether they're splitting reps, or if it's just going to be Garrett Bradbury all the way. But this is another intriguing battle that I'm super excited to be seeing. And our final position battle we're going to be talking about is the corner competition. And this is probably the most intriguing competition to me because it's between two main guys, Tyreek Stevenson, who again has been there, done that, and then rookie Malik Muhammad. Now, he is only a fourth round pick, but I believe he should have been taken higher in this draft, and we kind of got him as a steal. And I think that Malik Muhammad has the chance to start over Tyreek Stevenson. Stevenson's highs have been really high. However, he has had a lot of lows and he's very inconsistent as a player. While Malik Muhammad actually is a very good college football player and has a chance to push Tyreek Stevenson for the job. And I don't think Stevenson can go into this year thinking he's safe, especially because it's going to be a contract year for him. If he wants to get paid and even have the chance to start for this team or even anywhere else, he has to play well. So I think this is going to be a very interesting competition. I think it's not going to be easy for Muhammad to steal the job. I feel like Stevenson will remain the starter, but hopefully Muhammad can push Stevenson a little bit, as well as it being a contract year. So Stevenson plays better because he needs to. He needs to play more consistent. Really quick, I have a favor to ask. So in case you guys didn't know, YouTube has this feature where you can see what percentage of views come from those who are subscribed and those who aren't subscribed. If you guys want to keep up to date on all things Bears and enjoy my content, please hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to see all my new uploads, because right now we are only at 90% who are not subscribed. That means only 10% of people watching this are subscribed. Let's get that number a little bit higher, because I'm going to be honest, I'm new, I'm starting out, but I want to bring you guys NFL Bears content as often as I can. And if you want to support me on that journey, please hit that subscribe button. Let's get back into the video with storyline 3. And storyline 3, will our rookies step up? This storyline is really important for a couple of reasons. We had a 2026 draft class, which I think is strong. And some of those people are first round pick safety Dylan Thieneman, second round pick center Logan Jones, which I talked about, third round pick Sam Roush, who's a tight end, and Xavier Thomas, who's a wide receiver, fourth round pick corner Malik Muhammad, who I also talked about, fifth round pick linebacker Kayshawn Elliott, and sixth round pick defensive tackle Jordan Vandenberg. And all of these picks I am super excited about. They each have their upside in their own different ways. I mean, for example, our sixth round pick, Jordan Vandenberg, he's an athletic freak. I mean, there's this video of him jumping out of a pool without like using his arms or anything, and it's insane. This guy is super strong. He's basically like that athletic specimen you target in later rounds. And if he can hit, he's going to be a beast based on his size. For example, our first round pick safety Dylan Thieneman at Oregon, he was an amazing player. I'm super excited to see him in this scheme and work with our other new safety, Kobe Bryant. And I think he brings a lot more speed to this defense, and he's very smart at the position too. And then other players like Savion Thomas, his speed, man. I mean, this dude's literally like Ben Johnson's version of Jameson Williams on the Bears. This dude's going to be an el- I think he's going to be an elite receiving option in the future here, and just based off his speed alone, and he can run all the routes. He has very good hands, and honestly, I think he's a sleeper for eventually making a push to become wide receiver 3 or 2 in the near future. So, all of our rookies bring some sort of juice that I'm really excited about. All of these rookies have the chance to push for their respective spots. A lot of them starters, some of them backups. I think all will make the team. And I want to see out of training camp whether these rookies step it up. I want to hear that these rookies are trying their best. They're pushing current starters for their positions because competition brings out the best in anyone and it'll help the Bears be more competitive. Storyline number 4, can Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon bounce back and stay healthy? And one of the most important storylines that we need to keep a track of because in the past, Jalen Johnson was a former All Pro and Kyler Gordon was also a very good player and nickel in his own right. These players had a very injury prone 2025 and a lot of them just couldn't stay healthy. I mean, Jalen Johnson, he got hurt week 2, I believe, against the Lions and was out for like 8 or 10 games. Kyler Gordon played a total of 3 games the entire season. So both of these players need to lock in and try hard this training camp. I mean, starting with Jalen Johnson, like I mentioned, he's a former All Pro, Pro Bowl corner. Uh, he used to be considered like top 10, top 5 at the position at times, and we need him to bounce back. Our cornerback room has the potential to be very good, but it all depends on if Jalen Johnson plays well. And last year, he didn't really play all that well. Um, so we need to see a lot out of him this training camp. And one positive sign I will add, he did make some noise earlier in the offseason when we were back right before we went on this break for summer. There were mentions that Jalen Johnson picked off Caleb Williams a couple times, and he was showing some promise, which is a good sign. Now, with Kyler, I think whenever he's on the field, he plays super well. Don't get me wrong, he's a great player. The problem is he can't stay on the freaking field. And Kyler Gordon, if he wants to stay on this team in the long haul, he needs to. It's kind of hard because he can't prevent injuries necessarily, but if he wants to stick in the NFL, he has to find a way to be more healthy, whether he does more training to strengthen those muscles. I know it's a lot of soft tissue injuries. So there's not much he can do besides hope and maybe fix his nutrition. I don't know. That's up to the trainers. But it's going to be really unfortunate if we see Kyler Gordon fizzle out of this league because he couldn't stay on the field because he's a damn good player. And whenever he's on the field, he's a difference maker. I mean, we saw it in the playoff games last year. Whenever he was on the field, you could tell the defense was way better. And they just both need to bounce back. That's the moral of the story here. If they play well, our defense will be good. And that's the main thing. We want them to play well. And if they do, our defense will be average, if not above average. Because both of these guys are Pro Bowl level talents. Now, our final storyline here is, will the defense be competitive with the offense? And that kind of ties in with our last storyline. But one of the major things that I want to be talking about here is speed. Speed was a major factor in what the Bears did this offseason. GM Ryan Poles and even Ben Johnson mentioned that they were trying to improve the speed of this team because our coverage last year was lacking. So players like Kevin Byard were sent out, even though he was a very good safety last year and led the league in interceptions. He's just not fast. He's not good at covering anymore. He's, I believe, 33 years old. So instead, we brought in guys like Kobe Bryant, Dylan Thieneman, who have speed on the back end. We brought in Devin Bush, who's one of the fastest linebackers in the NFL. And hopefully these guys, with their increased speed, can create better coverage so we don't get picked apart. I mean, there would be countless times last year where the defense would give up like a 50-yard plus play just because the defense couldn't cover. And it would be on stupid little slant routes or fades or whatever. So this increased speed should help. And the major thing I want to hear at this offseason training camp is that the defense is holding their own against the offense. We all know the offense is probably going to be very good this year, quarterbacked by Caleb Williams, having talent like Luther Burden, Roma Dunze, Colston Loveland, DeAndre Swift. But if the defense can hold their own against the offense, this team has a good chance at going on a run. And I don't know about you guys, I would love to see this team go on a run. So that's all I want to be hearing in this training camp, balance. And my question for you guys, after hearing all of these storylines, which one do you think is the most important storyline to watch? I personally think that if the defense shows that speed element like I was talking about, and that Pulls and Ben Johnson kept trying to bring in the talent to increase, I think this team can go very far. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, though. If you have an opinion that differs from me, I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and turn on that notification bell so you'll never miss another one of my uploads. Training camp is almost here, which means we'll have tons of new news, observations, breakdowns coming to the channel almost every single day. And we are almost back to NFL football. As always, my name's Aiden Gister. This has been ATG Bears Breakdown, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bear down.